The boardroom was freezing, not because of the air conditioning, but because of the silence. My father-in-law, Marcus, slid a black folder across the mahogany table. "It's over, Julian," he said, not even looking at me. "Elena wants a divorce. And as for your position here, let's just say we're upgrading. We need a visionary, not a calculator." Next to him sat my wife, Elena. She didn't look sad. She looked bored. She was checking her phone, probably texting the visionary they were hiring to replace me. They offered me a severance package of $50,000 to leave quietly, a pathetic amount for the man who had secretly saved their manufacturing business from bankruptcy 3 times in the last 5 years. I didn't beg. I didn't shout. I picked up the pen. "Just one question," I asked calmly. "Does the new guy know how to navigate the Shanghai protocols?" Elena laughed. "Julian, stop trying to sound important. You manage spreadsheets. We hired a guy from Silicon Valley. He'll figure it out in a week." I smiled. "Okay." I signed the papers. I took the check, and I walked out of the building I had practically lived in for a decade. As I stepped into the elevator, I didn't feel angry. I felt like a man who had just removed the batteries from a ticking time bomb and handed it back to the owner. The man they replaced me with was named Jax. He was flashy. He drove a McLaren. He gave great speeches about synergy and disruption. Elena was infatuated. She moved him into our house, my house, 2 days after I left. She posted photos of them on yachts, captioning them, "Finally with someone on my level." I moved into a small apartment downtown. No view, no luxury, just a laptop and a coffee maker. I didn't start a rival company. I didn't try to steal their clients. I simply waited. You see, Marcus and Elena thought they owned a logistics empire. What they didn't realize was that the entire empire was held together by personal relationships I had built. The suppliers in Vietnam didn't trust the company. They trusted me. The distributors in Europe didn't have a contract with the firm. They had a handshake agreement with me. 3 weeks after I left, the Shanghai protocols expired. Jax, the visionary, didn't renew them because he didn't know they existed. He was too busy redecorating my office. Suddenly, 40% of their supply chain vanished overnight. I watched from a distance as their stock price dipped 10%. I took a sip of my coffee. "It begins," I whispered. By month 3, the panic set in. I still had access to the industry newsletters. The headlines were brutal. Legacy firm Vanguard Corp misses shipment deadlines. CEO blames glitch for $50 million loss. Elena stopped posting photos on yachts. Now she was posting vague, angry quotes about loyalty and fake people. Apparently, Jax wasn't just incompetent, he was expensive. He was burning through the company's cash reserves to fund his lifestyle, and Elena was footing the bill. My phone rang one Tuesday night. It was Marcus. "Julian," he sounded breathless. We have a situation with the customs office in Hamburg. They seized the cargo. They're asking for you." "I don't work for you, Marcus," I said, typing away on my laptop. I know, he stammered. "But look, come in as a consultant. Just for a week. We'll pay you double your old salary." I paused. "I'm busy, Marcus. I'm working on a personal project." "What project?" he snapped. "You're unemployed." "I'm acquiring assets," I said. "Distressed assets." And then I hung up. I wasn't lying. I had taken my $50,000 severance, combined it with my savings, and leveraged it with a private equity firm that knew my reputation. I wasn't looking for a job. I was waiting for the carcass to rot enough so I could buy the bones. 6 months. That's all it took. Jax fled the country when the fraud investigation started. He had embezzled millions. Elena was left with a failing company, a ruined reputation, and a mountain of debt. Vanguard Corp filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The liquidation auction put was on set my for best Friday. suit, navy blue, tailored. I walked into the auction house. The room was filled with sharks, competitors looking to buy the company for parts. In the back row sat Marcus and Elena. They looked like ghosts. Elena was wearing sunglasses indoors, trying to hide her red eyes. Marcus was slumped over, defeated. When I walked in, Elena took off her glasses. Her jaw dropped. She nudged her father. "What is he doing here?" I saw her mouth the words. I didn't look at them. I sat in the front row. The auction began. The bidding was slow. No one wanted the debt. "Do I hear 2 million?" the auctioneer asked. Silence. I raised my paddle. 2.5 million for the entire portfolio, including the brand rights. The room turned. Marcus stood up. "You don't have that kind of money," he shouted, his voice cracking. I turned around slowly in my chair. "I didn't 6 months ago," I said loud enough for the room to hear. But it turns out investors love a calculator when the visionaries fail. I won the bid. I bought the company, the building, the trucks, the patents, and the debt for pennies on the dollar. The next morning, I walked into the Vanguard building. The security guard, old Mr. Henderson, looked confused. "Mr. Julian, I thought you were gone." "I was," I smiled. "Now I'm the owner." I took the elevator to the top floor. My old office, well, Jax's office now, was a mess. Elena was there packing a box. She looked up, tears in her eyes. She tried to play the history card immediately. "Julian," she sobbed, "thank God it's you. Daddy is a mess. We can fix this. We can run it together, like we used to." She took a step toward me, reaching for my hand. I stepped back. "There seems to be a misunderstanding," I said coldly. "I didn't buy this company to run it with you. I bought it to evict you." Her face went pale. "What?" "You fired me," I reminded her. "You replaced me. You mocked me. And now you're trespassing." I called security. "Please escort the former staff off the premises." As she was let out, she screamed that I was heartless, that I was cruel. I didn't feel cruel. I felt efficient. Marcus tried to sue, of course, but he had signed the bankruptcy papers. He had no leverage. I rebranded the company the following week. Blackstone Logistics. My name, my rules. I rehired the old team, the ones Jax had fired. I called the suppliers in Shanghai and Hamburg. Within 48 hours, the supply chain was moving again. It took me 1 year to turn the company profitable. It took Elena 5 years to pay off her debts. I hear she's working as an assistant at a real estate firm now. Sometimes she sends me emails. "Thinking of you. Hope you're well." I never reply, because you don't look in the rearview mirror when you're driving a Ferrari. They thought I was just a gear in the machine. They forgot that I was the engine. And when the engine leaves, the car stops.